the floodgates are open and new blade jigs are coming. From custom glides to DRTs to rods, a big swim bait week, and the literal best double buzz ever created. Plus, a return of the treat and treat deals. This is what's new this week at the Hookup Tackle. Welcome to the Hookup Tackle. Oh, what a stud.
Yeah. Look at that.
That was sick. Cheers, my friends. Happy Sunday. All right, guys, some breaking news. What's new this week at the Hookup Tackle?
What a beautiful post-spawn fish.
Look at that.
Look at that gut on that. That's a nice fish.
Welcome back, my friends. I am Ben with the Hookup Tackle, the Tackle Otaku on Instagram, being joined this finally not completely miserable Sunday morning by my buddy Jeffrey the King.
Finally, we're starting to get there.
We're
starting.
You know what?
To get there.
I'm good with this.
Oh yeah.
I think.
Ooh.
And you know what? I'm okay if I jinx it because I love 100-degree days. That's why I live here. I think we won't see another 100-degree day for the rest of the year.
Wow.
Today marks the day. It's only going to be 99 today. And then it's downhill from here. So
probably like 97.
We chose wisely, Jeff. Cheers to that. Would you like a beer to celebrate?
No thank you.
It's actually fall. That crispness
in
the air where you're only sweating.
Like maybe on one side
maybe 15 hours down this side. Yeah. Cheers, my friends. Happy Sunday. I hope you guys are doing good. Jeff, are you doing good?
I'm doing fantastic. Without having to drink beer.
Why is it so loud in the warehouse every time we turn the camera on? I swear to God.
I think they know.
Wow. Griff. We'll just blame him for everything. Oh, there we go. Hey, see?
See?
God was listening. Cheers, my friends. Happy Sunday. Hope you guys are doing great, by the way. This is what's new this week at the Hookup Tackle. We're going to talk about some new product drops, some really cool restocks. We have our Halloween treat and treat spectacular happening, so we are going to drop this week's deals on that. Thank you guys very much for your business last week. So many of you took advantage of those deals. So many of you took advantage of having elastomer sea urchins in your arsenal. We are crazy people, aren't we? Yeah, so let's just keep the ball rolling and keep the craziness happening. Are you ready?
All right.
Okay, here we go. So I'm going to start with a bait that I'm super excited about. This is, without question, the greatest twin buzz ever created. This is the HM Custom Lures Quazkiller. Now, HM is our buddy, Hideki Maeda. You guys may know him as the owner of Teckle. Well, Teckle is a very special brand, right? It's very, unique ideas, things that are very different that nobody's really thought of before. His other brand, HM Custom Lures, is kind of his brand where he just makes things better and the best they can be. And I can tell you, I've spent a lot of time with this buzzbait and it's unbelievable. So I know a lot of you guys are buzzbait anglers. This is going to be an exciting one for you to have. If you're not familiar with twin buzz, if some of you guys are new to buzzbaits and don't know much about double buzz or twin buzz, listen up because I'm going to break this down. So essentially, if you are familiar with a twin buzz or double buzz concept, then you know that these are very difficult to cast because there's two blades. Usually you go to cast and it grabs wind, it's like kind of, and it's hard to cast. They don't throw very far. They can be very finicky to where the arms have to be in the exact right place, certain sweet speeds, but there's something magical about a twin buzz or a double buzz. It creates a different sound, a different look, and sometimes the bass just absolutely smoke it. So what Hideki has done is he has taken this and he's tweaked it to where you can throw this thing like a rocket. This twin buzz casts every bit as far as a traditional buzz bait or any other lure. Jeff and I flung this thing around for basically a week through Lake Biwa, through Ikehara. You can bomb this thing. It casts incredibly accurate. It has the ability to come up and over cover better than any twin buzz or any buzz bait I've ever seen. So if you guys are fishing aquatic vegetation, what's great about this is a lot of times when you're fishing grass, there'll be matted grass areas and then pockets, and then matted grass and then pockets. You can throw this into the pocket. You can fish it very slow. As it gets closer to the matted grass, just speed it up and go to a faster retrieve, and it will literally lift up and over that matted grass and then back into the pockets without snagging any of it. It's truly a special twin buzz. Okay, so if this is something that speaks to you, also it is swiveled on the top, so if you happen to hit something, or even a lot of times twin buzzes will land this way and they have a hard time like righting itself, not this one. So as soon as it lands, it instantly rights and it's going. So we've got 5 colors. We have a white silver, by the way, 1/2 ounce, okay? White silver. We have a black blue. We have a black black. We have a silver shiner, and we have a chartreuse white. Now these are going to be in very limited supply. They are in super limited supply in Japan. I just begged hard enough to where we got these. These were never supposed to make it over here, but what can I say? I'm good at begging. Wouldn't you say, Jeff? I see you shaking your head.
I would say so, yes.
Yes, so there you go. Enjoy them. I don't know if or when we're ever going to see them again. So if that's a bait that speaks to you, pick it up. That's from HM Custom, the Quazkiller. Available now. By the way, I should point out that the one and only time I've ever trapped a buzzbait fish
Is with that one.
was on this.
In front of everybody that was there.
Jeff got to watch it. CJ got to watch it. Stupid. Amazing. Stupid. But I love this thing, so there you go. Quazkiller. Cheers. All right, Jeff. It is time. Patents are up.
Oh.
Floodgates can open, and brands can
now.
start to create and innovate and bring us more offerings in the blade jig category. So today we've got a couple newcomers, and I'm excited to bring these to you. Now, quantities super low, so if these speak to you, make sure you grab. But here is the brand new OSP Metal Blade Jig. Okay, brand new to the market. Now this is going to be offered in 2 sizes, a 3/8 and a 1/2 ounce. It's going to be available in 10 colors, and I will break down the colors for you. Let me take one out just so I can show this to you. Let's do this bad boy. Now, as most of you guys, I'm sure I'm the same as most of you guys, the jackhammer has a special place in my heart. It's never going to go away. It's always going to be, you know, the blade jig of choice. But there are things that a jackhammer doesn't do as well as I would like it. And it's kind of like any other category, right? You don't throw, I mean, as good as the Edo Vision 110 is, it's not the only jerkbait I throw. There's times when I need to throw something different. And this category is exactly the same. So it's going to be exciting to see new products come in this category. So here is the look at the OSP Metal Blade Jig. Now, what is different about this than a jackhammer? I am going to show you a couple things. So first off, you'll notice the shape of the blade is very unique. You'll notice the underside is cupped, right? And the reason for that is they have designed it to hit as hard as it can on each corner. So it's going to create a different sound. It's going to create a different pitch, a much louder sound of that blade hitting. It also controls the bait from not running too far side to side. So a lot of you guys know, if you fish a jackhammer, traditional chatterbait, if you fish it around, say, like wood, it's a super snaggy. SOB, right? So, and the reason for that is because as that blade is moving, that jig hook is kind of going side to side. So if it goes too much to the side by a log, it snags it. So by reducing the amount of movement, it keeps the hook tighter. So you're gonna have a tighter movement, you're gonna have a louder movement, and then they designed the head to help bump it up and over cover. So if you're coming across logs, you're coming across any type of, you know, obstacle, it should, in theory, bump up and over, and because it's kept tight, there you go. And then just in case, you've got a little extra brush guard there to help it. Now, on the trailer side, you have a Gamakatsu hook on there, you have a trailer keeper, and then like all OSP jigs, you have that peg hole. What's great about that peg hole is when you put the trailer on, you can use the toothpick or whatever you want to peg that to there. This allows you to skip it without that trailer pulling off, and they built this to be an incredible skipping blade jig as well. So you've got multiple ways that you can use this thing. They've been testing it for a long time. Finally out. They're gonna sell out pretty quick. Like I said, quantities are very limited. I will do my best to get a production run coming, especially as we get into spring. But I know a lot of you guys aren't necessarily in blade jig season, but if you wanna make sure you have these when it comes, I would go ahead and scoop them up now. Again, 3/8 and 1/2 ounce. And let me run through the colors. So there's a vivid white. There is a bluegill color. There is a blueback chartreuse. There is a red and black. There is a grip-on shad. There is a green pumpkin. There's a black blue. There's a golden shiner. There's a black. And there's a chartreuse and white. Okay, and on the photos, I put the blade color next to each color of the skirts. So you guys can see what the blade color is. Most of them have this kind of matted blade also, which is really nice. So it reduces a lot of the flash. Now, as far as trailers go, OSP built it to go around their soft plastics. Of course, put whatever trailer you want on there, but they recommend using the HP Fish or the Dolive Stick. You could also use a Dolive Shad on this one, even though it's a paddle tail, because the bait is tighter and it doesn't roll quite as far side to side, it allows the paddle tail to still move, which is nice as well. So enjoy, take advantage. Those are available right now. And of course, since floodgates are open, we will start bringing in the original OSP Blade Jig as well. So a lot of you guys have gotten these over the years. We've put them in bentos. We have a handful of colors right now in stock, and we'll do our best to get these remade and to bring them over. This is the original kind of inspiration behind the Stealth Blade jackhammer, right? This was kind of the first true kind of plastic blade on the front, right? Which gives it a unique look. It gives it a unique action. So you're getting that same kind of, you know, rocking movement, but in a clear package. It's going to create a hunting motion. So it's going to have similar to something like an S-crank, where it kind of is hunting back and forth as it goes through. It does have a couple longer strands, so you can throw it without a trailer. I always recommend just cutting those off and throwing a trailer on there. But it's a great all-around bait as well. So if you want to play with a couple of new bladed jig options, this would be a great time to do it. That is the Blade Jig and the Metal Blade Jig from OSP. All right, Jeff, staying on OSP for a minute, we have some new storage solutions. We have a new toolbox and a new tool case. Now, if you had to guess which one of these was the box, which one would you guess?
The box?
Wrong, this is a case. This is a box. We'll come back to that. Look, I didn't name them, I'm just bringing them here. So, we released the 3010 size of the tool case several months ago. It is in the white and red version. Don't know why I'm struggling to open these so bad. but there is a new 3010 version that's black and red. Okay, so you know, Jeff, I know color doesn't matter to you, but it matters to a lot of us. So if you guys want this black and red, by the way, it is a clear. This is the 3010, perfect, just kind of all around size. There's also the brand new 3020 NDDM. So this is the deep version, okay? This is the brand new one. So it is gonna be available in the white and red. This is a great one for storing swim baits, for storing bulkier plastics. This one holds a lot. It comes with dividers. Of course, you can use it as one open tray, however you want to. But this is probably the most useful size box, I would say, in my entire arsenal. Without question, the best selling size every time we get it in a Deps or Mega Bass or whatever. So now there's a cool OSP option in the 3020 deep size. Now, enough of cases. How about a new toolbox? Even though it looks more like a case, right? This is the new OSP toolbox. It is a soft-sided box that is designed, you can store soft plastics in here, so you can put things like HP Fish, this type of stuff, and you can store it vertically inside so that you can line things up. You can store it horizontally inside. You can also use it to store, I'm just making a mess over here, these smaller boxes, right? So you can store them inside. You can use the zip lure case, whatever you want. Now, the top has the ability to remove the cover. So if you want it to be clear, so you can see inside, that's great. If you want to keep the cover on, the advantage of having the cover on is that it just reduces sunlight from going in. So if you're somebody that likes to put your stuff on the deck of the boat and then, you know, get into it whenever you want, it just keeps sunlight from getting in and warming up the bait. So there you go. It's kind of a cool new accessory, the toolbox and tool case from OSP. And then finally, the #1 selling accessory ever from OSP. This was a banger. The mesh pouch from OSP is back. So this is a full mesh pouch. What's nice about this is that it expands. It's easy to see on both sides. So you can really stuff this thing full of your soft plastic baits, your tools, whatever you want to do inside of here, and then keep stuff organized. You can really cram this full. You can put like 15 or 20 bags of soft plastics in each one. So those are back while supplies last from OSP. All right, Jeff, earlier this year, I was in Japan when there was a terrible earthquake right around the Lucky Craft factory. Super devastating earthquake, messed up Lucky Craft, displaced thousands of people, right? And Lucky Craft came out with a special Ganbare Hokuriku set of lures that were basically fundraising baits for the people affected in the area, right? I was talking with Lucky Craft last week when we came back from Japan, and of course all hell was breaking loose here in the US as well. Back-to-back hurricanes, you know, watching everything that's happening with the flooding in Tennessee, North Carolina, and one area that was particularly affected is the area around Douglas Lake in that Dandridge, Tennessee area. Now, I've got a couple of, you know, good friends to the shop. Dave Mullins, if you guys follow him on the Elite Series, been going around trying to help people bring supplies in his duck boats. And then our good friend Eddie Ball, who is a staple in that area. Actually, many of you may not know, but he basically gave us a house and a place to keep the OSP boat and truck and camper for many years, and we filmed many videos from Douglas Lake and Cherokee Lake and that whole area. And I was talking to him earlier this week, and the area is just devastated. Thousands of people, houses flooded, no flood insurance, government's not helping them enough. He basically donating his whole company to help with recovery issues, and so many people reaching out to me as well. Just, you know, every time there's a disaster, we want to help, right? So I reached out to OSP, reached out to Lucky Craft, said, hey, let's try to do something to give our community a chance to raise some money and do whatever we can to send it that way. And so these next couple items are focused at that. So Our friends at Lucky Craft did another special run of Ganbare Hokuriku. There's 8 baits. Okay, if you guys aren't familiar, these are baits that are painted and designed in their style of what they do in Japan. Now, even though this is a Japanese company, they're an American company too, right? We're all just fishermen. So logistically, it doesn't matter if we're in Japan, Arizona, Tennessee, Florida. If there's fishermen in need, if there's communities in need, especially that are so important to us, we want to do whatever we can to help. So for the next week, Lucky Craft is donating $2.50 of every Ganbare Hokuriku bait that is purchased. We're going to double it. Okay, so $5 of every bait purchased we are going to send as a relief effort to Tennessee. If we can sell a few hundred baits, that'll be a couple $1,000s that hopefully will go to help some families in need and, you know, hopefully raise awareness that we need to try to help those people of those communities. So there's 8 baits in total. You guys can do whatever you would like. 1 bait, full box, 8 baits. There's some really beautiful patterns in here. So take advantage. Let's try to help out our community. I will also post throughout the week any place that if you just want to donate money, I'll try to find the best places in those areas, working with our friends in those areas that you guys can do that. So thank you, Lucky Craft. If you guys are in Tennessee, North Carolina, Florida, anywhere that's been affected by those hurricanes, we're thinking of you. Stay strong. Ganbare Hokuriku, Ganbare Tennessee, Ganbare Florida. We've got your back. We'll do whatever we can. So take advantage for the next week. We also talked with our friends at OSP, and again, OSP and myself have a special connection to that Douglas Lake area. We're going to do the same thing on all OSP hard baits. Okay, so $5 per bait for the next week. We're going to send straight to Tennessee to hopefully be able to get them supplies, money, whatever they need, whatever we can raise. So if you guys are needing any hard baits, it's a great week to support the cause. So it could be anywhere from jerk baits. We've got some amazing Rudra colors. Even our custom colors are in. Varunas. It could be on hard baits like the Blitz series. You know, that whole area, Douglas, Cherokee. You know, it is kind of the main crankbait area, and it put baits like this on the map. We've filmed multiple crankbait videos there. So anything that's hard bait throughout the lineup, if you guys need anything, $5 a bait from OSP, $5 from Lucky Craft on the Ganbare Hokuriku. We will donate on behalf of this community, and thank you guys very much for the support on everything. Let's see what we can do to help our communities out. All right, back to some baits, Jeff. So staying on the blade jig trend for a minute, got a couple other new offerings. And again, many of you who are part of our Bento Box subscription, you would have received these over the last couple years, but Issei makes an amazing blade jig. This is called the AK Chatter. Okay, so this is another just different option than what you're gonna get with something like a jackhammer. Again, it's gonna be available in a 3/8 and a 1/2 ounce size. Only a handful of colors, but we'll do our best to try to keep these going. The AK Chatter has a longer, more oval shaped blade to it than the traditional like hex blade of a jackhammer, which gives it just a different movement, a different vibration, and it's just gonna offer you something just slightly different than a jackhammer. So it might be a great one to add. It fits any full-size trailer on there, 4 or 5 inch, and then they're available in a handful of shad colors. So you can take advantage of that. They also, from Issei, make a bait called the Liar Chatter. This is also available now. Now this is basically designed to rig with any soft plastic that you want to rig on it. So unskirted, it comes with 2 Issei Liar minnows, which is a great, just real finessey kind of wedge tail type deal. But you can put any soft plastic bait that you like to put on there. It works best with, I'm gonna say like a 2.5 to 4 inch size. Okay, so you're going to get the one head, again, a very unique shaped blade that's designed to give you the vibration and the movement of just a soft plastic bait back there. Okay, so it's a little bit thinner, a little bit different shape because it's not having to move the full skirt. And the head shape is similar almost to that of like a body balance where it wraps around that soft plastic bait. So again, it's going to come with the Issei Lyre Minnow if you want to try some different colors. Lyre Minnow is a great one to do. Some other great options, the Huddle Fat Fly, whether the elastomer or the regular version from Imakatsu, is a great one behind there. The fish roller from Raid is a great one behind there. So anything that's got either like a wedge tail or a flat tail will work really good behind that Lyre Chatter. And again, quantities are pretty limited, so if they sell out, we'll do our best to keep them going. But there you go, some new options from Issei. Okay, and that brings us to our first treat and treat deal of the day, Jeff. Issei also makes a super cool bluegill swim bait called the Gill Flat Swimmer. This is available in two colors, a green pumpkin and a neon gill. This is about a 2 ounce, it's 58 grams. So you're basically at a 2 ounce weight. Let's see if I can open it. If you guys follow Issei on Insta, they've been sharing tons of footage of this bad boy. So you basically get that segmented Issei gill shape that they are famous for in baits like their Gill Flat. This is a harnessed rigged version. It still has that hollow cavity up top that you can add foam into if you want it to float and wake on the surface, or you can close it up to trap air. You can add weight, you can add scent, but it will stand up straight on the bottom. It has an amazing swim. You can get it to actually kind of kick and dead walk a little bit too. It's a really fun little swim bait that flies super under the radar, to be honest with you. I mean, you almost never hear anybody talk about it, but it's an amazing little bait. So here we go, treat and treat. Buy one, get one. Okay, so you want to try both colors, buy the neon gill, get the green pumpkin for free. You want 2 green pumpkins, buy one, get one. So while supplies last, buy one, get one free. Treat and treat.
You're gonna need to add 2 to your cart.
Yeah, so make sure you add them both to your cart. Thank you, Jeff. It's funny we have to continue to tell people how this works, but if you want the deal, you have to add the 2, okay? So if you want this one and this one, put them both in your cart and magically it will show you that one is free. Otherwise, if you just put one, I mean, I don't know what you want, so you pick it. Thank you, Jeff. All right, guys, it is Sakamata time. Maybe.
Ooh, maybe.
Maybe if you weren't paying attention to our Instagram, you already missed out. But there might still be some floating around of the 5-inch Deps Sakamata, the most popular strolling bait in the history of man. We have some of the key colors back. So Indie Sagi, a great custom color that Deps does with our friend Indie Fishing on Instagram. It's a beautiful kind of shad, purple, silver flake. It's a killer one. Silver shiners are back. White silver flake, we haven't seen that in forever. Pearl white, right? So
all the good colors.
The main colors that you guys have been waiting for, if you didn't get the few that we had last week, this is your chance. Likely the last 5-inch drop for the year. Okay? So, well, I ordered these like 8 months ago.
That's right.
So probably not again until the spring would be my guess. So now's the time to stock up. If there's any left, enjoy. 5-inch Sakamatas from Deps are or were available. Now, if 5-inch is just too small, and Jeff, I'm surprised you didn't peek this on my rack because you've been waiting for this. The brand new from Raid Super Fish Roller 7.5 inch.
Wait, that was a 7.5?
Yep.
I thought this was a 6.5.
I knew it. I knew it.
No way.
Yeah, you paid no attention.
And they're already gone.
Well, relax. I just dropped them.
They're probably already gone.
Just dropped them. So here you go. You were waiting for this one, weren't you?
Wow.
Better take it. You
Finally,
better take it and run. Okay. 7.5 inch size. Hey, no. I gotta show the colors first. Right. Relax. Calm down there, guy. Okay. This is a special size that Kanamori wasn't going to actually drop to any stores. He was going to do it just kind of as a promo size. But when Jeff and I were in Japan in January, maybe? March. We played with this bait with Kanamori, and it's ridiculous. Yeah. So I know that a lot of you are thinking 7.5 is stupid. Ridiculous. It's too big. By the way, it's going to be available in all the same colors that are in the other super fish rollers. So there's some fish skin colors. There's some regular colors. I'm just going to open it up to show you
what you're working with.
Here's basically the magic of this bait. It is a big bait. It's 7.5 inches long, but it is built to be a strolling bait. So even though it's big, it's also tall. So if you use the right rod and the right cadence, this thing has the craziest side to side slow roll that you've ever seen. So it's incredibly easy to maintain depth. It's incredibly easy to just get into a routine where you're just kind of popping your rod tip in a very easy motion, and every tip up is getting this thing to flare side to side. So you literally just, you can't go, you know, you see a lot of guys with a 4 or 5 inch, they're like, you know, spazzing out because that little bait's got to do all this stuff. But this one is so big, it's literally, you just fire it out and it's like, don't. It's like kind of brain dead. It's just doop, 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 doop. It's super sick. So they're limited supplies. It is not supposed to be a forever offering. It was designed as a special offering. I don't know if it's going to stay that way or not. So if it speaks to you, or you've been waiting for this, or maybe this is interesting to you because your fish are eating bigger things than just these tiny little puny 5-inch silly Sakamatas, then I would scoop them up. Okay, now what head do you use on this? Well, owner makes that new Range Roller XL, which would be probably the likely choice for a lot of you that has the 4/0 and 5/0 hook. Surprisingly enough, when we sat down with Kanamori himself, he throws the Horizon Head LG in a 1/0 or 2/0. So not even the 3/0 LG. So in Japan, they use much smaller hooks than what we're using here in the US. Really with everything, I would say, wouldn't you, Jeff? So
well, besides big swim baits.
Besides big swim baits.
Everything else is smaller hook.
So anytime you go to a plastic bait, they usually use like a full size or 2 smaller than what you would expect to be using. Now, just in case, just want to show this to you. Here's the 2/0. This is a 4.4 gram. Use whatever weight you need to for the depth, but here's the 2/0. This is the one that he was using on the 7, which I know seems crazy because it's such a small little hook, but they're not rigging this like this, okay? They're rigging this on top. So there are 3 holes up on top right here that you can use for different settings. So depending on which hole you go through, it will have a faster response or a slower response, so you guys can just play with it, right? So they're going through that top hole and around and then out the back, and there's rigging holes on the back as well. That head's going in, and that's the rigging that they have, okay? So by putting it on the top of the bait, it allows that bait to get its full rotation side to side. You can do this, by the way, with the Super Fish Roller 5-inch and 6.5 inch. You can do it with a 4-inch as well. You can do it with a Sakamata shad, so it doesn't always have to just go straight through the front. But this one's nice because it has that rigging hole feature, but you can see that even the 2/0 now has plenty of gap if you rig it this way. Okay, if you rigged it right through the middle, then you'd probably want the 4/0 or the 5/0 hook. So there you go. I think you guys are going to have a lot of fun with it. I'm excited to see it. It's a big strolling bait, but when you compare this 7.5 inch size to say like an 8-inch Sakamata shad that's just full of salt and all that stuff, it's substantially lighter. And Kanamori's throwing it on a spinning rod.
Yeah.
Still.
Spinning around.
So, you know, kind of just like a straightforward medium spin is what he's throwing it on, which seems way too light. But when you actually understand that that lighter tip absorbing every time you're doing the thunk, 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 and that tip is kind of bending as that bait is moving, it makes sense. If the rod's too stiff, if you go to a medium heavy or a heavy, you know, to adjust for the weight, the rod's too stiff and it's just going to kind of force the bait to do all these crazy things. You really want that bait to be rolling side to side. So whether you're using casting or spinning, I would stay in kind of a medium so you have that lighter tip to really get that bait to go. But you're going to catch a ton of fish on it. Super fish roller, 7.5. If there's any left after Jeff scoops them up, those are available now. Why, Jeff? Why? Why for you? Why have you been waiting on this? Tell the people.
I like that 6.5 because of the size of it. The action was cool. Then he showed us a 7.5. He's like, secret size. And we were like, oh God. And then he busts that thing out and we were like, oh, good heavens. And then fishing it, it was like easier to work.
So much easier.
It was easier to work. And the movement was even more dramatic with it. And I was like, dude, this is ridiculous.
Yeah. Now, strolling is one of those kind of polarizing things, right? Because strolling is really a forward-facing sonar-dominated technique here in the U.S.
Absolutely.
Right? But in Japan,
it's not. I mean,
it's obviously forward-facing sonar guys are strolling.
Yep.
But almost every shore guy is strolling.
Yeah.
And this is an amazing bait to stroll from shore also. So it's got the size and body you're going to need for fish, you know, like in Rayburn or somewhere where they're eating shiners or gizzard shad or white bass or, you know, these larger profile things. But don't be afraid to toss this in your pond, to, you know, shore fish with it, because it's made out of a material that's relatively hollow, right? So it's hollow all through here. It's not heavily salted, so it's a lighter plastic than a traditional big, heavy, salted 8-inch bait. So there you go. Have fun, enjoy. 7.5 fish roller, available now. Okay, Jeff, another treat and treat deal. So last week we did a special deal on an evergreen deep crank rod. This week, in honor of having some new blade jigs to toss, we're going to do the same on a new model in the evergreen combat stick lineup. This is the 6/8 heavy glass. Now this was one of the new rods that I was super stoked about, because, you know, everybody knows of the jackhammer rod, right? 7.3 medium heavy glass. Everybody probably has one by now. But, you know, flinging a 7.3 rod around, if you're a shore fisherman, if you're a kayak fisherman, or if you're a boat guy that likes to like skip docks to be super accurate, not the easiest length rod to use. So the creation of the 6/8 heavy glass was kind of amazing, kind of genius in my mind, because it's designed for the tighter range, close range skipping docks, and it's a brilliant rod that can throw anywhere from like a 3/8 to 3/4, but it really is going to shine with that 3/8 and 1/2 ounce jackhammer, blade jig, square bill, buzz bait, that kind of stuff, right? So you can get that true glass bend with it. So you're basically a $220 rod. Purchase one of these 6/8 heavy glass. We're going to include about a $150 box of toys to play with it on, okay? So in the box is going to be a handful of square bills. There's going to be Sonic size, there's going to be a couple of duo square bills, there's going to be some chatterbaits and blade jigs. So of course the jackhammer has to be in there. There's going to be a bumblebee blade jig in there, a mini max. There's going to be my favorite, a blade waker. There's going to be a couple of OSP square bills, Blitz Max, and an HPF. So in total, about a $150 value for free. So you buy a $220 rod, you get a sick ass rod, and you get $150 worth of baits. It's limited to supplies on hand, so if that speaks to you, scoop it up. There is treat and treat deal 2 for today. Okay, staying on the treat and treat idea just for a second, Jeff. We actually dropped these 2 deals late this week, so we're going to extend them through this week. I have a special Fred treat and treat from Bottom Up. So Fred is a custom color that we do here. We do it in the OSP Dolive plastics. We also do it in the Bottom Up plastics. It's essentially green pumpkin with purple and copper flake, okay? So buy any Fred Gimmy. So Gimmy is their cool little bluegill bait, great to free rig, great as blade jig or chatterbait trailer. Get a pack of the Bulls Hog and Fred for free. So buy one, get one free. By the way, you can choose the Bulls Hog or the Bulls Hog Daddy. You can choose either size that you want. So it's Fred for Fred, treat and treat. The other deal that we dropped on Friday is Raid has a brand new glide bait. It's a topwater glide bait called the Double Header. It's 2-ounce bait, 220 millimeters. Purchase any double header. There's some really sick colors. We are going to throw in an Uma Death Roll from Imakatsu for free. So cool little deal if you like playing with some unusual bigger baits. They're both kind of surface oriented baits. Now again, make sure that you add both to cart, okay? So pick your double header, pick your death roll, it'll magically make it happen in cart. And same here, put the Gimme Fred in there, put the Gimme Bulls Hog in there, and it'll magically appear. So enjoy those deals for the rest of this week. All right, Jeff, a restock that has been needed for a very, very long time. Our custom hand-tied punch skirts are back. Now, this is the best punch skirt ever created. And the biggest reason for that is instead of using metal or lead like most companies do, this is a hard plastic bead. So what that does is it doesn't add any extra weight really to your product. So you can of course use this punching, you can use this flipping, you don't have to worry about the line getting all cut up from the lead. But the other thing you can do is you can add this to things like a free rig. I add it to the front of a free rig all the time, where you can basically now free rig like a jig. So you put this in front of your beaver and then you have your free rig weight sliding, and it's not pulling your bait down, it's allowing that bait to kind of have that same shimmy fall or horizontal movement or whatever it is that it's doing. You can use it as a drop shot, right? So if you're drop shotting like drop swim or something up here, you can slide this in front of it. And because it's made out of that bead instead of lead, it will allow it to still swim and have that great movement. So all the colors are back, anywhere from green pumpkin to Fred to the black blues to electric June bugs. Everything is back. They're gonna fly out of here again. They're $4.99, hand tied in Japan. So if it speaks to you, grab them up, stock up. So many things that you can do with this bad boy. Punch skirts are back. All right, Jeff, let's talk about some product for your people.
No way.
Swim baits.
I thought it was going to be more strolling baits, but okay, sure.
Oh, you're a stroller now?
I mean,
Well, now that you have the super fish roller, you're a stroller. All right, let's talk about some DRT. Okay, so our first ever shipment, other than when we had the Working Class Zero, of the DRT Klash 9 high float.
High float.
Yes. So a bunch of the new colors come in. This is Eddie. This is Queen. This is Shinobi. This is Andy. We have Laser Specs. What else we got over here? We have my favorite, DRT Bass. And we have Biwasagi. Okay, now, Jeff, talk to me about a Klash 9 high float. What am I doing with this thing? What should people expect?
Well, it's a Klash 9, and it's a high float.
Thank you,
now,
Jeff. The end.
The end.
Okay, good luck, everybody.
So, it's not how you would traditionally think with like the original low float, right?
Okay.
The high float, in essence, is a much higher float, so it doesn't glide as well as the low float. Now, could you technically put a bunch of weight on it to get it to glide well? Yeah, but it won't ever be the exact same as low float. So what we ended up actually doing with this is fishing it more how it comes straight out of the box.
Okay.
Lip in, tail in mode A, and on a nice slow retrieve, it's gonna basically be like a wake bait style,
cool.
But with a nice fluid swim to it. You can burn it up on top as well, and it's going to stay much higher up in the water column. So if you guys are fishing around, you know, grass that comes up and there's maybe a 1 or 2 foot between the surface and the grass, this is a bait that you're gonna crank around, rip, pause, straight retrieve. You're gonna wake it up on top. It's got one knock in it. So it's really something that's made for that 3 foot and higher water column. And so it's a fun bait to fish if your fish are feeding up on the surface. If you're fishing it just on a slow retrieve down a wall, down a dock, something like that. So not the same as a low float, but there's definitely applications to throw the high float.
And an easier bait to use, because essentially if you do exactly what he says, take it out of the box, tie it on, and use it, could be a great option for a shore guy as well, because it's going to stay up high. You're not going to glide down too low. You're going to reduce the risk of really, you know, getting it to too low of a glide and snagging it.
If you want to crank it too, since it's a lot more buoyant because it's lighter, it's almost half of an ounce lighter. So it deflects a lot better now. So you can really deflect it off trees, rocks, stuff like that. So if it's up your alley, this is definitely cool.
Might be a fun bait for you guys to try, and it's in some really dope colors. I love the Eddie Andy. I love Queen, of course, a no-brainer. DRT bass always been one of my favorites. So there you go. If it speaks to you, take advantage. DRT, we never know if it's showing up or not. It's just always kind of a surprise. Like, hey, it's Christmas morning. There's a couple boxes of DRT that showed up. So take advantage. Clash 9 high floats available now. And while supplies last, there are a handful of colors in the K9 low float as well. So if you want that more traditional low float, where you have more of a deeper diver, more of a glide motion, DRT bass, laser specs, US perch, there's a handful of colors in stock in those as well from DRT. All right, Jeff, let's stay on glide baits and swim baits for a minute. One of our shop favorites that we do here is we have a very special relationship with Rafa over at Rafa Customs, one of the OG best hand swim bait makers, I would say, in the game right now. And it's been a while since we've had a batch of baits. We've got a very interesting batch. We've got some new baits, some new colors, so I'm going to kind of walk through these. Now, I'm going to start right here with the Joey Shad. Now, this is the bait that really put him on the map. We've offered him here a bunch of times in shop. You guys have absolutely loved it. This is a hand-carved, hand-tested, hand-painted glide bait. It's about a 3 ounce or so shad glide. Has amazing movement. Of course, on straight retrieve, it's just going to kind of do, you know, the typical S-type swim, but it has a great chop to it, a great glide to it, and it's kind of the perfect size, perfect all-around size. I've got these in a handful of colors. So this is the brown back shad. This is the batch of Shiner. So we went a little more of a copperish gold hue. Really good, solid Shiner pattern. We have a new perch color. And this perch is pretty banger. Nice and subdued, not too loud. That sunken black eye looks sick. So if you guys live in a place where that could be good, that one's dope. There is a bone blood splatter, which is, again, a no-brainer. Anytime it's white or bone, I'm in. And then finally, super sick one to have in fall, we have Sexy. So this is going to be a great one for any of that slightly stained to stained water. It's going to give you all the hues that you need. So there you go, the Joey Shad from Rafa Customs. These are always in limited supply. So if they speak to you, you can scoop those up right now. Okay, new bait from Rafa. We have the Joey Swimmer. Okay, so this is going to be a 2-joint bait. It's to the same size, same weight, so you're in that 3 ounce category. But this is going to give you more of a straight retrieve, a tighter swim motion to really imitate shad that's escaping, shad that's trying to get away. We have these in a handful of colors. So we have this purple, which is super sick. So as you shift it, it goes kind of from like a shiny purple to almost like a grayscale. Pretty disgusting. We have a shiner color, a perch color that we just showed you guys, right? And then we also have a sexy shad color, which is kind of the perfect all-around shad-based color. So there you go, 4 colors in the Joey Swimmer. Those are available now. All right, also a new bait from Rafa is the 10-inch shad glide. So basically a 10-inch version of the Joey. This is going to be about a 5-ounce bait with hooks on it. So even though it's 10 inches, still pretty light. It's got a really good movement to it. It cuts great, it glides great. We just have the one color, this light trout. I think it's a dirty color. You like this color, Jeff?
I think it's sick.
Yeah, so again, not a lot of pieces, but it might be a really fun one to play with if you guys are a glide guy. By the way, pricing, we're at $179 on the Joey and the Joey Swimmer. That has been that stays the same. This one, you're at $200. So I think $199 on the 10-inch. Now, he also, just in case that's not big enough for you, has an 11-inch, 8.5-ounce shad glide.
Just what you need.
Okay, so if you guys want an even bigger one, I've got them. We've got a bunch of colors. So we got onesie twosies in this. This is going to be a huge bait. But it's going to be right up a lot of your guys' alley. It's going to have a ton of drawing power. Some really good colors in here, from trouts to shads to perches. So if that speaks to you, the 11-inch glide also available now. And for a handmade 11-inch glide, pretty reasonably priced, I think, too, $220. So pretty good pricing there from Rafa. Okay, and then finally from Rafa, going the opposite direction, his new Junior Shad. So this is a smaller version. With hooks, you're right about 2 ounces. So a cute little fella. We've got 2 colors. We have this bone splatter, and then we also have this shiner color. Both look absolutely disgusting. So this is basically a size that everybody can use. So really cool. $119 on this guy, handmade Junior Shad glide. But wait, Jeff, there's one more. Also from Rafa, we have a trout wake. So kind of a cool, it's a large wake, but it's not very heavy. Oh. So it's only about 4.5 ounces. Oh. Yeah, so for a large bait, pretty light. So, you know, a lot of you guys like topwater wake style type baits. This will give it to you 2 colors. So there's a bone silver and there is a black. So if that speaks to you, those are also available now from Rafa. All right, Jeff, and one more restock item, almost new item. We've had this twice before and they've instantly evaporated out. They are back again. This is a special collab between Bait Sanity and Leviathan rods. Okay, this is the Bait Sanity Leviathan Tuggin Rod. Okay, so again, this is the 3rd batch we've done. Everything stays the same. It's a 7.3 moderate fast 1 to 4 ounce rod, designed to throw baits like a tug. It would be a great K9, TK, most like that Joey Shad. At only 7.3, it's really cool because if you're a shore guy, if you're a kayaker, if you need a shorter rod and you're not out there just bombing big casts, it's got the length that you would expect from a big swim bait rod as far as grip goes. It's a super comfortable reel seat. It's a double lockdown on the front. And then, like all Leviathan rods, super high quality, but it has that nice mod bend up top, so it's gonna load up baits really good. It's gonna be very easy to pitch docks, pitch walls, pitch specific lanes, grass edges, shorelines. So excited to get this in again for you guys. Made in the USA, $4.99, a super cool collab. So it might be a perfect rod for what you guys are after. But those are available while supplies last. I think it's been like a 1.5 years since we've had these back. So if that speaks to you, today is the day tugging rods are available. Okay, and Jeff, let's wrap things with our final treat and treat deal of the day. This one, we just talked about a rod, so we need some reels.
Steez, get a zillion for free.
Calm down. Oh. Let me say the deal, okay? You just be quiet. All right, Dower reel deal. Zillion, Steez, on spinning, we'll do Certate Exist. We've been running a special where you buy any of these reels, you get a free Anetic Low Pro hoodie. If I can get it. So this deal is still going on. By a Zillion, by a Steez, by an Exist, by a Certate. Get a free collab hoodie. So it has the Dio logo on the front, has a hookup logo on the back, has Steez down the sleeve. We are basically going to double the deal. So buy any of these, you still get the free Anetic Low Pro hoodie, but you can also have a new Santee flannel collab from Sims free as well. So basically just doubling the freebies. You're gonna get a little over $200 worth of free stuff with the purchase of any Zillion, Steez, Exist, or Certate. So we'll run that while supplies last or until the end of the week from Daiwa. There you go, treat and treat. All right guys, and that is a wrap for today. Cheers to you. Jeff, it feels like a long episode, but I feel like we've just been fucking off the whole time.
There was a lot of talk about Sonic.
Yeah, a lot of random sidetracks. This is what happens when you've basically fried your brain all day. Favorite item of today?
Wow. You know, it's hard to choose, honestly, because we had some clashes.
Yeah.
We had some Rafas.
Yeah.
It would have to be the 7.5.
I knew it. I knew I could do a day where I had glides and swim baits, and your favorite thing was a normal bass lure. You're a changed man.
A normal 7.5-inch strolling.
Yeah, Japan's changed you.
Yep.
Cheers to you, Jeff. You're one of my people now. You actually like to catch fish.
Yeah, because that 7.5 mid-stroll bait is
a banger.
It is a banger. More than a 4-inch or 5.
Yeah. Guys, I'd love to hear from you if you had a favorite product that we dropped today. And of course, if you have questions on anything we covered, because I can't remember half of it right now, drop it down below in the comments and I will get answers for you. Of course, I leave my Instagram handle in the beginning of this episode as well, so you can reach out to me direct on Instagram if you want to dive down any rabbit holes and do deeper dives on anything from rod purchases to techniques to baits to whatever you guys need. Jeff will put links to the products on behalf of myself, Jeff, Griff, everybody here at the Hookup Tackle guys. Please be safe, take care of your family, pray for the communities that have been affected by just absolute Mother Nature chaos. We will do whatever we can to have their backs. Hug your family, catch a giant fish, drink a delicious cold Orion if you can find one, and until next week, my friends, cheers. Enjoy fall. Jeff, it's the 90s, baby. The 90s are back.
Let's go.
It is brisk. Have a good weekend, everybody.